Well, my name is Emily Carpenter. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Digital Retail Partners. And I've been in marketing for about 10 years. I've seen the evolution of Google Analytics from Universal Analytics to GA4. And that's what we're going to discuss today. I heard someone say that they have not been on analytics in over 2 years, and you might be a little shocked when I pull it up today. What is Google Analytics? So Google Analytics is a platform that collects data from your websites or your apps. Awesome. So I hopped into the slide, what is Google Analytics? And it's a free platform for anyone to use, and it collects data from your websites or an app to create reports that provide insight into your business. Previously, you were all working on Universal Analytics, which was sunset last year, and this opened the door to GA4. GA4 is an entirely new version of Google Analytics that's more flexible, scalable, and faster. It's an event-driven data resource, as well as its machine learning and predictive capabilities make it a much powerful tool. Today, we are going to review 3 reports, and I know you all come from various industries, so at the end of each report section, I'm going to pause, let you ask any questions and how you can apply that to your business. And those reports are e-commerce, checkout behavior, and our user lifetime. I do want to note that if you see this little symbol on your Google Analytics, don't fret. This is just, it's called a data threshold, and that's been applied to protect your users' identity or sensitive information of your individual users based on demographics, interest, or other signals present in the data. This is across every UA or GA4 account. It's not anything you're doing wrong. It's just to protect the end user, that data privacy. All right, let's get started. So if you have Google Analytics, let's go ahead and open that up, please. Does anyone have Google Analytics already installed?
Yeah, I think, does anyone have it installed? Using it?
I'm checking.
Awesome.
Okay, someone here's checking, Mark is checking.
Perfect. If you don't have it, no worries. I can include a resource after this call on how you can add it to your website. And at the end of this call, you are going to receive this deck, which walks you through the reports we're building step by step. All right. So that first screen, when you pull up Google Analytics, it's going to look like this. Let's go to our home page. This is your home page for GA4, and it's a snapshot of your company as is. And over here on the right-hand side is your menu, or left-hand side, apologies. And we're going to walk through that menu right now. So in this menu, you have the name of your account. So make sure that you're in the proper account if you have multiple businesses. You've got your home button, which is that screen I just showed. You have your generic reports that really, you can't edit those reports. They're just very top level. You have your Explore, which is make your own reports. And then you've got advertising. We're going to focus on the Explore tab today and making our own reports. Going further, if you're in the generic reports tab, you'll have a real-time traffic report. So whatever, if you send out an email and you want to see the boost in your online traffic, you can quickly click real time, and it's going to tell you how many people are on your site at that present time. Then we've got life cycle, which toggles down into acquisition, engagement, and monetization. And these are the 3 tabs we're focusing on today. How the customer came to you, what they did on your site, and what they spent on your site. And then for those users that you need to know more about who is finding them, you've got your demographics, which is their age, male or female, where they live. And then we've got tech, so user devices. Is your audience coming to you primarily on mobile, or are they coming to you on desktop, or are they tablet users such as an iPad? Google finds all of that information out for you. Acquisition. So that first tab, we're going to go over an overview of what's being shown on that tab, user acquisition and traffic acquisition. I'm going to toggle back over to our analytics dashboard. I'm going to hit acquisition, and then I'm going to go to overview. So on this screen, you can set a date range of what you want to report on. I'm actually going to put in the last 90 days for this particular account, so you can see the progression over 3 months. You've got the initial overview. It's just a snapshot of how many users were on your site at any given time. You've got the users in the last 30 minutes. So this site has had one person come to it in the last 30 minutes. And then we have our new users by first user default channel. So their first click to your website is what's being attributed here. We've got referral traffic, which is they click on a link that's nestled in another site's website. They come directly to your site. They're typing in the URL. It's a paid shopping ad. So if you are on Google and you search for cups, there's a banner that pops up at the very top. That is considered a shopping ad. Organic search, which is your SEO. Paid search, which is your paid per click. Organic social, which is anyone coming to your site via any social media account. And then display, which is a display ad. Scrolling down further on this page, we've got sessions. This is your total number of sessions attributed to each channel, which is referral, direct, again, paid shopping, organic, paid search, organic social, and paid social. The difference between sessions and users is users are unique events or unique people, and sessions are multiple sessions per user, which is why some of these numbers vary just a little bit. The next default module on your acquisitions overview is sessions by Google Ads campaign. Because it's a Google Analytics platform, it integrates beautifully with Google Ads and tracks very accurate information. You can see that a search campaign, which is PPC, has majority of the sessions, followed by a shopping ad, which showcases the product. And then over here is our lifetime value. This particular client's lifetime value isn't complete in terms of data. Google's still gathering that information. So lifetime value is only about $2 for each of their clients or their consumers. And we're going to see that slowly increase as we bring them back. And when we go into our lifetime value reports, you're going to notice that it's not readily available in our reporting. And there's a reason why, and it's because the data is not quite there yet for us to build a legitimate report. After user overview, we're going to user acquisition. And the difference between user and traffic is user is unique and traffic is multiple. You've got your users over time. So you can see here on December 26th, we had something happen and 640 people were referred to the website, most likely a press hit. Then you've got, again, it's just showing you in a different version, the traffic and referral, direct paid shopping, organic paid search. And then right below that is a really detailed report for you to dive into those channels. So if I want to look at referrals specifically, it has my new users, which that brought in a little over 2,500 users, engaged sessions. So were they on the site for a period longer than 10 seconds? And did they have a conversion event? So did they check out? Did they fill out a form? Did they sign up for my newsletter? Then we've got our engagement rate. This goes back to that engaged sessions, and it's calculated based on the number of new users and what they did on the site. So our referral traffic engagement rate is slightly low at 27%, but our direct traffic is 47%, which 40%, which makes sense because they are seeking out the brand. Then we've got our average time on the account, and this is for all of the average for everyone over here. It's not just one user. So if a user goes and stays 2 hours on your site, this might be a little higher. Then we've got all of our events. Your events are something that you set up separately, or you can default to Google Analytics default events, which are fairly simple. All events, product added to cart, completed order, viewed checkout, and it goes into detail about these events. And then we've got our conversion details. So conversion detail is only a purchase or a checkout initiated. And then we have our total revenue if the value is attributed to any of those conversions. And remember, this is single source user acquisition. And then we jump into traffic acquisition, which is multiple sessions. You've got the same default or same layout, users over time, sessions by default group, and then that detailed report below. The only difference here is that the conversion count is a little bit higher, and we do include revenue. So any questions on user acquisition or acquisition in general?
There was a question from Kate Brooks. She asked, how do we link it to our website? I have a Squarespace hosted website.
Yeah, absolutely. After this call, Kate, I can give the HAYVN team a link to send you on how to add it to your Squarespace site.
And could you once more just say the difference between user and traffic? I wasn't quite clear on that.
Yeah. So a user is unique. So you are the individual user, but the traffic is several. So you could come to my site as one user, but come via Instagram or a paid ad or direct to my site, which gives us 3 traffic sources.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we had another question here, Emily.
Yeah, so I have a questions on time on site. So I have a habit of just opening a gazillion tabs and just leaving them open. And then when I get back to it, I read it. So if a tab is just left open with no interaction, does that count as engagement time?
It does not. So Google's smart, and they know when you're scrolling or engaging on the page.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's hop into making our first unique report for e-commerce. And this is going to pull that data that we just saw and put it in a different format. And we can break it down by which channel is most profitable for your business. So in your Google Analytics tab, okay, there's another question coming in, perhaps for later. Do you know cart landing page creator management? Do you know how to link that with GA? We can touch on that at a later time. All right, so let's create our report. So you're going to go into your Explore tab, and this is where all of your reports will be created going forward. And this is what you can automate to yourself to email you every Monday or bi-weekly, however you need to get these reports. And we're going to start by creating a blank report. So we're going to hit this blank plus sign. When you hit this blank plus sign, it gives you variables and settings. We have to individually add our segments, dimensions, and metrics and name this report. And right below that report, because I had my Google Analytics defaulted to the last 28 days, it pulled that through for this reporting, but I want to know just my quarter to date performance. And I will toggle that date. Anytime you refer back to these reports, you can toggle the date as well. So looking here, we're going to add our variables and our metrics, which includes your dimension, and that's going to be our source medium. Your source medium, let's see. Your source medium is where they're coming in at and how they're coming through. So I'm going to type in source here. So I could type source. And I'm going to hit source medium. And I'm going to select import. And this is going to import all the data applicable for my source medium within this date range. Now, this is an e-commerce report, so I want to know things like total users, transactions, total revenue. I'm going to go to metrics, and I'm going to type in total, and it's going to pull open my total revenue, total purchasers, total users, and I'm going to select import. And it's going to add these variables on my left-hand side. Now, to show up here in my data table, I'm going to select the row, which is my source medium. And then I'm going to tell it that I need to know from my source and my medium what my total revenue was, what my total users were, and my total purchasers. Now I can see clearly that my Google cost per click campaign generated 2.7 in revenue, a total of 28 users, and 23 of them converted, which is an excellent conversion rate for a paid campaign. So when you're running this and you see the users versus purchasers, that's how you can differentiate if it was a successful campaign and you targeted appropriately. The next bucket is your Carousel analytics. So this is a referral source, and this is the affiliate program for this client. An affiliate program is when they get a percentage of sales for every person that clicks their link. And it looks like this particular affiliate program, it brought in a little over $1,000 for quarter to date, with 16 total users and 10 total purchasers. If it's categorized on your site as direct none, that means they come directly to your site and they have no medium. The next item is Google Organic. This is your SEO. These are your keywords working for you. Same with Bing, SEO keywords in the Bing search platform. And then finally, IG shopping. So IG shopping is social commerce, and it looks like there was no revenue and it only brought in 1 user this month with 0 purchasers. And these lines below are weighted. So at a glance, you can quickly see that our Google campaigns are running pretty well for this month. Any questions on yeah.
Haley, I have is this example of a report for someone who has an e-commerce component on their website? Only so what would a simple report look like for someone who offers a service, or like one of our entrepreneurs who's just starting with this platform and they only want to look at users or visitation, just a basic one, like how would they go about that?
Absolutely. So you would still look at your source medium to learn how people are coming to your website. And if we wanted to type in, let's see, if you have an app, there's a option for app download, in-app probability. Let's see, if you're just starting out and you want to know if they're not actually making a conversion on your website, you can include the metric called bounce rate, which is coming up in another report that I was going to review. And your bounce rate tells you, are people coming to your site and immediately jumping off? And if they're immediately jumping off, why? So there's a glitch in your website or your app, or something needs to be, changed for the user experience. And if you click this plus metric sign, you can really dive into a ton of different options. Event value here, you can set your event. So if it's a form fill, if you're filling out a newsletter form, or you're a service base and they need to book time with you on a calendar, that would be an event, and you just import that event here. And let's add that event over to the site or to our chart. And you can see that there are a ton of events happening here. This major event is conversions for this particular client. But for you, it could be an app download. It could be scheduling appointment for a service or etc.
And specific action.
A specific action, exactly.
Got it. Got it. And we have a question from Christine.
Hi, do we want the bounce rate to be 0 or do we want it to be 100? Like, which is a good number?
The closer to 0 you are, the better. Actually, no, that's incorrect. Sorry. A 0 bounce rate. So there's something going on right here that should not be 0. And another report I have, it's actually not 0, but the higher or the lower, the higher the bounce rate, the better. Because that's telling you that they're staying on your site longer.
Wait, I'm sorry, could you say that again? Because that doesn't seem intuitive. The bounce rate is if they're jumping off your site.
Correct.
And
So,
so,
yeah, Michelle, you're correct. Sorry, it's been a long
Want
week.
it to be the lowest. The lowest.
You want it
Yeah.
to be low.
Yeah.
so the, so we talk, I mean, there's going to be some bouncing. So
Correct.
generally, what would be a good guideline?
For e-commerce, a nice bounce rate is below 40%.
And for services?
For services, I mean, because they're most likely, you know, scheduling a call or an intro or something along those lines, you would want that to be probably around 50%. And the lower your bounce rate, the better, because that means you're targeting the correct audience with either your email campaigns or your ads, or I think you said your company writes copy. So your copy is accurate for that organic SEO search.
Right. And so one of the things that you had said is maybe the bounce rate is because there's a glitch or something, but it could be because they're coming thinking they're going to find one thing and they're
Exactly.
saying, no, this is exactly not what we're looking for. And they automatically leave.
Exactly. That could be playing into it. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions before we jump into engagement?
No, not on our end here.
Fabulous. So going into our engagement section of our Google Analytics, this is those events that I was talking about, your conversions, your pages and screens, which gives you more insight on that content, and then landing pages. So on your screen, we're going to go back to our reports, and we're going to toggle down to engagement and start with our engagement overview page. So as you can see over here, I have this set for the last 28 days for this particular client. And we're going to talk about the average engagement time, which is how long the user was active on your site, when they engage sessions per user, and then our average engagement per session. So you can see here on the 30th, we had a big blowout sale, and it looks like a lot of users stayed on the site to browse that sale. Currently, the users in the last 30 minutes, what they're browsing. Your views, so how many people came to the website, and then the total event count or actions, specific actions they made on your website. And those events, so those event counts could be a page view, which is where majority of our events are coming. They're landing on a page. User engagement, did they scroll? Did they click? Session start. And these are all default to your Google Analytics account when you add it to your website. First visit, did they scroll, our viewed product, and then finally checkout. So you can see we have a lot of people coming to our pages, but not very many are actually checking out, which kind of tells us that the audience we're targeting isn't particularly interested in this product. And then we've got our page title and sessions, page title and screen by what page they're viewing. On your website, when you name your pages, it's going to reflect here in Google Analytics, and this is also beneficial for your SEO. Mini Classics is a children's clothing store, and this is the homepage at the very top, which makes sense because that's where users land when they come directly to our website. Then they break out into our girls section, our boys section, our sales section, new arrivals, and it looks like some people actually made it to page 2 of the girls section. And all of this is reflective to how your site is built. So if they land on your homepage and then they go to book a session with you via a calendar integration on your website, that's going to show up here. Then we've got our user activity over time, the last 30 days, last 7 days, and then the last day. So the last 30 days, we've had a lot of activity on the website. The last 7 days, it's kind of trickled down a little bit. And the last day, it's trickled down significantly. But again, we had a sell for this client, so this was to be expected. In terms of user stickiness, so this is a new report that Google is giving you, and the user stickiness is the lifetime value of your user. So it's week over month, day over week, and day over month. And the higher this value, you want this to sit around 15% for every single one of these metrics. It's telling you that your user is really interested in your content or what's on your website, and they're going to most likely come back, hence the user stickiness that they've named this report. Was that a question?
No.
Okay. All right, so moving into the events. So again, your events is what you make it. You can dictate your events. We've got page view, user engagement, session start, first visit, and did they scroll. This is very similar setup to our acquisition tab. We've got the events over time, the event count by event name, and then we've got the detailed view below and how much revenue it generated. For this e-com site, most likely the event that's going to generate the most revenue is purchase, because they are actually transacting. If you have a button on your site for like session sign up and you want to add a dollar to that value, so say they click session sign up and they're not actually making a purchase, but every session sign up you value at $100, you can add that event, that dollar amount to that event name. Going on to conversions. So conversions is different from events. Events is everything. Conversions is only a purchase. So checkout and purchase. We have had, let me just minimize this. So you can see here over the last 28 days, this particular client has had 144 total conversions. 90 of them have reached checkout, but only 54 of them completed their purchase. Then we've got our pages and screens. I'll let this load for a second. And this goes down into the success of your landing pages. You've got the page path and screen class. So this little dash generally is your home page across all Google Analytics accounts. It's never going to say hashtag homepage because that's just not what you name your homepage. Then we've got, it dives down into the collections that we have for this particular client. And then it goes into detail for total views, users, views per user, average engagement time, event count, conversions, and total revenue. And it looks like our most profitable page, let's see, is our checkout page, which makes sense. But you can track the user journey and determine which page they hit before this to create this conversion. The landing page is set up in a very similar way. The landing page is here, the sessions, the users, the new users, the average engagement time per session, and all of those conversions. This actually shows us what I just mentioned is that our girls conversion or our girls landing page has a total of 6 conversions. Surprisingly, 47 people are converting right off of the homepage. So that's telling me as a marketer that our homepage is very engaging and tells the story of what we're selling. And then it goes down to a couple of SKUs, a couple of particular products, and the value over here for total revenue. Any questions?
Not really a question, but I think I'm very new to this and I'm not sure if anyone here can relate to me, but how do I mean, are these auto-populated in that layout that you're describing, or did you have to build that?
This right here is your reports tab, and these come with GA4. So once you set up and integrate your GA4
There.
account, all
I
of
see.
these,
Okay.
yes, and it's gonna crawl your website when you initially add your GA4 account, and it's gonna populate the landing pages for you.
Got it. Thanks.
Perfect. I just want to do a time check. I know we have a couple more items to get through.
Yeah, we have 10 more minutes and hopefully some more questions, and if we can wrap at 1, that would be great. So
Okay.
we have 10 more minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. and go
Does it
over-
integrate with,
Sorry,
Sorry,
Emily, there's one more question here from Christine.
Yeah,
does it integrate with WordPress?
it does. Yes. So again, I can send directions for WordPress and Squarespace. It's quite easy to pull that information over on the to integrate the account. Okay.
Thank you.
So I don't want to go through a report. So once we send this deck over to you guys, it does have the step-by-steps and what you need to build your user lifetime report. I do want to jump into monetization real quickly so we can make sure we cover all the life cycle data in Google Analytics, because this is default and what you'll be getting into. So jumping into monetization, let's just quickly go over here. We're going to review this first tab, which is total revenue, purchase revenue, total ad revenue. If your ads account is integrated, it'll tell you the revenue that any particular ad's bringing in. Total purchases, first time purchaser. So it looks like we don't have any returning purchasers for this time frame. The average purchase revenue per user. And then our items purchased and item name. So if you're selling product, you can quickly at a glance see what your top seller is in a time frame. Or if you're selling a couple of services, you can quickly see what your top service is backed up by data. And then we got our item purchased by item list name. So this actually isn't available because we don't have it differentiated for this particular client. If you want to dive deeper into your top products, you just click view items, and it's going to open up this e-commerce purchase report, which is right below, and you can see a more detailed version. And this actually dives into sizing because it is a baby clothing client. Going back to our overview, which is all of these reports rolled up to one. If we keep scrolling down, we have our purchase revenue by coupon. These are actually our influencers, and you can see at a glance, the top performing influencer is Natalia. Our product revenue by product ID. So if you are a larger company, each product generally has a SKU or a product ID that will help you correlate with another system of yours. And then publisher ad impressions by ad unit. Again, we don't use a publisher. We create our ads individually, which is why this has no data available. Going down into monetization, if you go to e-com purchases, we went over this. So items viewed, items added to cart, items purchased, and item revenue. Then we've got our purchase journey. So how did they get to that final product? And it looks like a lot of them are just obsession start and then abandoning before they're getting to the actual purchasing section of the website. We've got our checkout journey. It looks like some of this data isn't pulling through, but it will say begin checkout. Did they add their shipping? Did they add their payment method? Did they fall off after adding shipping? Did they fall off after adding payment? And this helps you determine, okay, is my process easy for the user to use? Is there a hiccup somewhere that I need to refer back to, let me go through the user journey myself and see if it's easy to make an actual purchase on my website. And this can also be tracked by signing up for a session or a service that you're selling. Is it easy to, you know, they start their checkout or they start creating and start scheduling a session with you, but suddenly they drop off. Why did they drop off? Is it, you know, the language on your site? Is it the price? Is something revealed to them during that process that should have been revealed higher up in the funnel? And then we've got in-app purchases. So this is not applicable for this site because it's a website, not an app. But if you do have an app, it integrates here and it'll show you all of the in-app purchases. Our publisher ads. So this is if you're using an ad publisher that publishes ads across Google, Bing, Yahoo, any major search engine. And then you've got promotions. So these are those coupons that I showed you and that influencer that is doing well, and they've generated 845 items checked out, almost 6,000 in revenue, which is excellent for an influencer campaign. All right. Any questions?
I have a couple of basic questions, Emily, for those of us who are new to these. So I think you explained early at the beginning, how do we embed this on our website? I think you were going to send something.
So Google Analytics is really excellent at creating accounts. And when you go to admin and I'll send you, if you go to analytics.google.com, if you don't have a Google Analytics account, it's going to show you the generic homepage, and then you just create account. But if you have a Google Analytics account, you need to create a new one. You go to settings, and it's going to open up this page, and you go to create account. Do not create a property. Creating an account will make sure that your businesses are separate. And once you create the account, or you hit that button, it's going to go through, you know, really general steps. Your account name. Generally, I advise you to make this your business name. You can check all of these boxes. So it's just data sharing with Google to help them with their products, and really increase their usability and help you determine, or any issues that come up, you're sharing that data already. So it's beneficial for Google to have access. And then you hit next. This is a property name. So if you have a website and you have an app, you're creating an account, and then you can create two properties within that account. You can name one website and you can name the other app. Or if you have a parent company, say clothing brand one, and within clothing brand one, you have two websites, you can add two separate properties here. I'm just going to click example, determine the time zone that you're in. It's going to default to Los Angeles. The currency. So if you have any other currency that you like to report on, you select that there, and then we're going to hit next. And then it's going to ask you for business details. This really helps improve Google Analytics as a whole. It's not really, it's just beneficial for them to have this data to understand the users that are using Google Analytics. And then in terms of business objectives, so an e-commerce brand is, you can select more than one, but generally you're looking to generate leads, drive online sales, and raise brand awareness. I heard one of you is looking to examine user behavior, so you just select user behavior. And what this does is when you create your account, it tailors a step-by-step guide after you create the account when it gives you a tour of your Google Analytics. Once I hit create, I get to agree to all the terms and conditions. And then that's where it tells you, it takes you to the start collecting data portion. And when you hit web and say, this is a Squarespace account, and it's going to automatically determine that this is a Squarespace account. And when it does that, it is going to give you the directions on how to install by default. And here are all the platforms it supports. So I'm going to hit Squarespace, and it's going to tell you step by step on what to do.
Got it. So there's a code or something that you have to embed on the back end of the website.
Yes. Actually,
Got
so
it.
Squarespace, it's just an external API key. You don't actually have to put code in your site.
Mm,
You can install it manually, which is this code, but this works just as well.
mhm. Okay.
And it's-
And
So if we have I heard a WordPress. So if we do WordPress, it's also going to tell you exactly how to install it into your site.
got it. Step by step. And I don't know if we have any
There's, yeah, it
questions.
says,
Okay.
the problem is that card is not listed as a CMS.
Do you hear that question, Emily?
I did. Let's see.
I don't know which card. Who's the
Do a
question from?
Google
Sure.
card.
Say that again?
Hey,
Oh, just Joyce.
yeah, I'm just connecting. I don't want to take too much time, but yeah, it's another platform, website platform management.
Yeah.
So if you are familiar with it, cool. But otherwise, I mean, no worries. I can email. I
So-
think it's kind of a manual process, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to do it right now.
Yeah, so it is going to be a manual process. So when you go over here to install instructions and you simply just hit install manually, but however, it's not going to leave you hanging. It's going to tell you exactly where to paste
Yeah.
this code.
It's the thing I'm not sure about. Okay, I'll try. Okay, thank you. So I'll try to. I don't really know where to put that piece of code. It's all good. No worries.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I have a good feeling Card's going to have information or a resource to tell you where to add that code as well. All right.
Cool. And I have one final question, Emily, and it's another basic question. So will Google Analytics just pick up on, let's say, 5 users, 10 users, or does it have a minimum threshold that it will start picking up on?
It does not. So as soon as you add the code to your site and you start tracking, it's going to start tracking immediately.
Got it. Thanks.
You can also add unlimited users to your Google Analytics account. So if you have a team of 20, all 20 of them can access Google Analytics.
Great. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay. We don't have any more questions, and I think in Zoom, any final questions? No? Okay, so I think we covered all the Q&A, Emily. Thank you so much for taking us through these. For me, at least, it was a new topic, so this was great.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
All right, well, have a good day, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.